Peace and blessings, family. Sister Ajali, let me try to change this mic's direction a bit without making too much noise. Okay. Wow. Sister Daphne Quinn, I just read your comment that you put there. Good good day, sister and family too. About to drive to my best friend, and she gonna listen today. I've been telling her everything, and after this, she's got to tune in willingly, or she won't catch up. Yes, that's very true. You just present the information, and then the rest is up to that person to decide. I do my best to offer the just irrefutable documentation, but there's a whole nother factor that makes us just dependent on this society, that means nobody any good. Even the white folks don't mean them any good, but they prefer it over the truth. um it is such a habit. It's such it's so sutured into our actions that it's almost as automatic as breathing. Nobody really has to relearn how to breathe unless they've had some catastrophic accident, hopefully that they survived, and then they have to relearn whatever appendage of their body, part of their body, is no longer fully functional. If your lungs aren't fully functional, you ain't going to survive unless they have you on a breathing apparatus. But overall, yeah, it's not an easy thing. And I've had to learn myself how to be much calmer about the fact that people have a right to choose what they want to. Yeah, goodness gracious, I know there's got to be bunches of stuff that I still do that maybe I don't know are so right, and different things that I've even given up recently, that right in the Bible it says don't do that. Don't, it doesn't say it to me, it just says it to all of us. But I've said, and I had to think about it, not so much because I'm at a point in my submission where I know that I'm a child. Allah is all knowing. And so when he tells me don't play with the stove, as a child, I may not understand, but I'm just going to trust that he always has our best interests at heart. And so there's certain things that it's not easy for me to give up either. This is an ongoing process. I Oh, I don't want to say anything snarky about those types of people, but at the same time, it's kind of hard not to just be so disappointed in the poverty pimps, those who take advantage of our good nature as a people, and they get up in front of us and pontificate as if they know everything, and they have no issues themselves, no temptations themselves. Now, when it comes to being able to step beyond this society, what I have found in getting better is that those small steps propel you uh, to another level of existence that's full of life. And when you are genuinely about that life, it becomes the new you, it becomes natural to you, so that you don't miss what you left behind. And suddenly you become and transform into somebody that 20 years back you would have been like amazed by. If you met yourself, you'd have been like, I could never be like that. That's incredible. How does anybody do all the things that that person does? No, that's you 20 years down the line of just making those incremental movements that before you make them seem impossible, but you're so tired of the results from living this society that you're done. And so I'm so excited. I'm always so excited when my king wants to do a live, and he proposed this. He gave me so much freedom. He was just like, oh yeah, we could talk about what you want to talk about, but I know that means let's keep it on he just has his way of understanding what is the right thing to do, and he puts it in terms that are real approachable. That he does that so far much better than I. I don't want to applaud him like that all the time, but it's just so easy for me because it's true. So, greetings to you, King.
Peace, peace. What's good, world? Just checking in. What's good?
Oh yeah, yeah. Sister Daphne Quinn, who she's so wonderfully. She has her thumbnail as my book, Furnace of Affliction.
Cool.
I love that. And she has gone to her friend's house, and her friend is most likely listening to this broadcast. And that's a wonderful thing because we just want to be able to reach folks who would never just voluntarily
Okay. Yeah.
search for those who would describe themselves as pro-black.
How are you going to search for what you don't know about?
Oh,
that's the whole secret. How are you going to search what you don't know of? You can't even conceive of the question.
Wow.
If you have no concept, you know what I mean? So
right.
So I can't search for you if I don't know anything about you. I mean, I can search for subject matter, but then they're going to put us all the way down at the bottom.
Right, right.
Google is rigged. DuckDuckGo is rigged. Bing, all these search engines are rigged to put their sponsors up first and their ideology up first.
Right.
Your ideology is going to be buried unless your ideology is their ideology. That's why you never choose the first thing at the top of the search engine generally, because it's usually some BS. Right. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
That's the government line. The top of the search engine is the government ideology. What they want you to have, what the corporation wants you to have. Because yes, the United States government is a corporation too. So yeah, that which maintains the status quo is right at the top of the search engine.
Right.
All right. That's why when you say black on black, it's going to be violence they're going to put up there usually. You know what I'm saying? Certain things you search for, a black queen, it's going to be homosexual. It's going to be pornography damn near. Black king is going to be pornography at the top. It's like, it's really weird.
Right. Oh, I got to go check that out. Let's see.
It's going to be down at the top. I can guarantee you.
There we go. And let's go check it out.
Yeah. It depends on your search engine settings too. So
okay, well, I'm using DuckDuckGo right here.
Yeah, but they have settings too. They have settings too. So it depends
black on black. Let's see what happens. Will love come up? I don't know who those sisters are. Black on black definition.
Racism, black on black violence, black on black crime. That's right at the top.
Not black on black love. No,
yeah, that's an oxymoron. Gunplay, black on black lyrics, black on
Right. There you go.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, come on. It's okay when you understand what's going on.
Right.
But if you're just using these stuff mindlessly, thinking that you're going to get the answers that you're looking for, because the white answer is not necessarily going to work for the black person.
Right.
All right. They're giving you the white answer. All right. And that's not going to be your answer 9 times out of 10. All right. Because the same rules don't apply. The same culture does not apply unless you've given up your culture and taken on theirs.
Right.
So if you live in their culture, then that answer will apply to you.
Right, exactly. And that's the thing that makes them feel uncomfortable is your answer is destructive to their society. And sometimes when I ponder it, I realize that, they think right now they're thinking of the whole planet is just they own it. And for them, anything that threatens their hegemony, which is really so weak because it's based on lies, it's based on treachery, is a threat. And when you have a territory, if you got a threat that's coming in, it's going to seem quite logical to want to get rid of it in some way, shape, or form. So unfortunately, their society is based on just complete, BS on a nonstop basis. And for them, the truth is a tool. It's not sacrosanct. It's just what they use in order to facilitate what they feel is their right to just own everything in whatever means possible.
That's right. That's right. But that's a lot of that is mythology too.
Oh, how do you mean?
Their hegemony. They don't run every damn thing.
Ah,
They just want you to think they do, and you believe it because you watch their media, you listen to them talk, and then where they present it, they run everything. All right, they don't do nothing without including themselves in it as having some type of fact. I mean, they're controlling the dialogue, they're controlling the ideology, they're paying for the bills for the movies being made. I mean, what the hell do you think is going to come up? Right. They pay for the medicine, they pay for the doctors, they pay for the movies. So whose ideology are those things? What are they going to pay for?
That's
that
true.
Which does not represent their interests.
That's true. There's even white people who disagree with stuff that is going on in their larger society, and they have no voice or access.
That's
either.
Right. But we learned a long time ago, as Steve Cokie told us a long time ago, they do not support their philosophical enemies. So if you get money from white people, that means you're supporting their philosophy.
Right.
That's how it works. Yeah. If you get money from them, that means you're supporting their philosophy. Right. So your church get money from the government, that means you're supporting their philosophy.
And I remember how everything changed as soon as they enacted that, what was it, under Bush, where they were giving government money to the various churches.
They've been doing that, but yeah.
But I remember there was a sort of, not that they were ever vocal in any regard, but they just bowed down completely. Yeah, you didn't hear a word of dissent.
The church and the state always work together. The church and the state always work together. So you might have had a church that got a little out of hand for a few years. Since the 60s, they got out of hand a little bit, but you just rein them back in with little dollars and they shut up. You know how it works.
Right.
You rein them in with a few dollars. Because and these preachers, they want to be congressmen. You know how these preachers want to be congressmen. So that means they want their money over to they want some budgetary control. All right. They want land for their churches. They're working with the city to get land for their churches and to build their developments also. Right. So that's why the church, the mayor go right to the church. He don't go to the people. He goes to the church.
Right. Because
the mayor don't go to the hood. The mayor goes to the church.
Right.
Where his boule flunkies is going to tell the hood what to do. That's how that works.
And that blows up their own authority, which it's not that they may think of themselves as evil or destructive to the community, because it's hard to get our ears. It's hard to get the common person to say, oh, you're saying something that's truthful. So people will reach for these things that give them a false sense, talking about pseudo-cracy, a false aura of respectability. And so that you could immediately announce, I'm this, I do this, I'm with this organization. And then people think, oh, well, this is someone of note, of merit. I best pay attention to him.
Okay. Yeah. Oh, this is someone that, the white folks go to. That's what the boule is. He's advisor to the king. That's all he is. He's an advisor to the king. He wants the ear of the king.
Right.
All right. That's all that means. So they're advising to the king. In other words, they're really working for the king. An advisor to the king works for the king.
Right.
Advisors to the king are not independent opportunists, right? Because they know ain't nothing more dangerous and nothing more rewarding or more dangerous than being close to the king.
Right.
It can be very rewarding materialistically. You know what I'm saying? But it can get you killed too. Because the king has always been fickle.
Right.
All right. You know what I'm saying? Whether they change like weather, they'll be killing everybody in the cabinet before you know about it. It happens all the time. Look through our history; it happens all the time.
Right?
It's very dangerous. But these people, that's the position they've chosen. These boule, this talented 10th. All right, these goat riders, who you call frat boys and masons and postgraduate fraternities. Come on, man. That's their position, to represent, to be the Negro whisperers, basically.
And If they get out of line. I understand, there's a threat of
They don't
death.
get out of line.
But that's it. That's what I was going to say. They don't
get out of
line.
They don't get out of line.
And there's always ways they have to just cut you down.
Maybe Martin got out. Martin was Boulay. Maybe he got a little out of line.
Yeah.
But maybe not.
Well, no, I conclude that's why they assassinated
I'm just saying,
him.
maybe. Or maybe just good business at that time. You know what I mean? Remember, they was assassinating everybody back then.
Oh,
Cats was getting killed left and right in the from 59 to 75. Come on, national leaders, presidents. Both Kennedys got shot. They killed the dude in Indonesia. They was killing cats. Congo. They was killing cats all over the place in the 60s.
Right.
They was wiping the slate clean.
Well, that's what I recognize is that quiet is there's two things that are completely never spoken about in truthful terms, and that's Fukushima, and that's that a lot of Black us are starting to, if we're not fully waking up, we're starting to say, hey, being Black is actually not so bad. It's kind of nice. And because I see it all over social media and there's no acknowledgement of it whatsoever. And then also on top of seeing how desperate they are in putting these the distractions have gotten to a point where it is almost laughable if it weren't so dangerous. I think they're looking for substitutes to just assassinating people.
We got to roll that back a minute.
Okay.
When I was growing up, we didn't think nothing bad about being Black as far as, I'm saying, that wasn't really something we dealt with. I guess if we lived around a lot of white people, you might feel bad about being Black. Listen, hold up.
I'm listening. I'm listening.
So I don't think the majority of us really, especially older, if you're born like in the late 60s and the 70s, it's not like you didn't it's not like you had a problem being Black. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't so overt back then. You know what I mean? We have some other issues as far as relating to because Blackness is such a blanket term. So you will have issues relating to how do I fit into that description that's been laid out for Black. That's what you have. You have issues like that. And a lot of people suffer from that because they don't see where their Blackness fits in this black hole. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But no. But they don't understand that diversity is part of the Black. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
The diversity comes with the Black. When you take away the Black, that's when you lose the diversity.
Right.
Because all the different things spring from this great diverse DNA that you call Black folk or melanin. All right? That's the mother of diversity. That's why you got so many different shades popping up off of it. So the diversity comes from that. But I just don't think that most of us really had. I mean, they might say it's hard being Black, like we said before, but we ain't never really believe that. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I have things to add to that, which is evident of what I'm saying, in that we didn't, and also takes in what you're saying, but we didn't really understand what being Black was. So we're now defining ourselves as opposed to having a nonstop opposing force be in complete control of our definition, such as you can see through the natural hair movement. Back in the day, it was just the afro.
Yes.
And that was the sum total of it. And Black womanhood is a key component of our greater definition of who we are, because that's one of the inspirations, the muse for all civilization is the woman, and appealing to her aesthetic sensibility. And so you have a lot of Black women who are no longer finding their own natural hair to be some sort of source of shame. And then also how I love my brown skin, songs like that, which really spell out that we're not embracing this cookie cutter notion of what Blackness is, but we no longer feel it as a drag. We no longer feel it as
you only feel it as a drag if you're using somebody else's ideology.
But that's what I mean. I'm not saying
you live in somebody else's lifestyle and ideology and beliefs, and it's a drag. But like I goes back to say, we wasn't really living that type of lifestyle, so it wasn't really that drag. And we joked about it, but
I think we're saying the same thing,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
we're in a different way, which is we're refining our connection
To what?
to ourselves.
Okay.
Because that was the thing when I grew up. The afro was out there, but
Yeah.
most sisters weren't wearing afros,
Yeah.
and nobody was questioning the like just the whole thing of why is
Because there's nobody told you about yourself.
well, that's what I'm
I
saying.
understand.
We're
But nobody told
exploring
you about yourself.
ourselves.
Nobody gave you nobody gave you a self.
Mhm.
All right.
That's what I mean.
Nobody gave us a self. The only one that gave us a self was the Master Farad Muhammad. Who are you? You're the original man, the Asiatic black man, the maker, the owner, the cream of the planet Earth, father of the universe.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
That's who I am. That's who you are. You're the original man. Man meaning male and female. You are the original. You're the first. You're the maker, the owner, the cream. What's your planet? The whole Earth is your planet, not just Africa.
Right.
The Earth belongs to the original man, as we learn in the lessons. The Earth, not Africa. You know what I'm saying? Not Belize, but the Earth belongs to the original man because we are the first. We're the vicegerent. We're designed to rule over it in a rulership sense, that being men, and not animals.
Mm-hmm.
All right, we're not animals. We're men. All right,
right. You're supposed to use that intelligence.
That's different. Animals
and
don't
wisdom.
build cities.
Right.
Talk to any. You go to see all the gorillas you want. They ain't got no cities. Those chimpanzees don't have cities. All right. They don't ride. Chimpanzees don't ride horses. All right.
Right. You watch all the Planet of the Apes movies.
Yeah. So the man is not an animal. It's different.
Right.
It's a whole different level of existence. That's what you got to understand. But since we've been dealing with these beast people, that you think you're just an animal.
Right.
And you act like an animal. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
That's why we confused. So somebody has to come and give us the understanding about some keys to understanding who we are. When you know who you are, you can't be taken off your spot.
Well, see, I recognize Master Farad Muhammad, and the change he made in our thinking had a ripple effect that most people don't even know or understand, because when those brothers in that original nation got up there with that fire, knowing I'm the original, I am the cream, they brought a positivity that's just, it's hypnotic. It draws you in, and then
it changed everything, because nobody can do it. But then here come the 101st monkey that does it. Now everybody can do it. That's the principle. See, nobody can do it, but that 101st monkey, once that 101st monkey learned how to do it or understand it, then all the monkeys started understanding it. And now nobody want to get no credit.
Right.
See, because it's common knowledge now. You be calling yourself black and black, but they don't understand the root of this thing.
Well, and there's also inner resentments.
Yeah, well, that's another story. But I mean, yeah, that's possible. Some of that, but that's usually with the leadership. That ain't with the masses of people. That's when cats that felt like they got brushed to the side or something like that.
You think
that's
so?
That's
because it's outside parties who have their own faiths, and they have their own
that's fine.
concepts about the nation, and that's
fine. But usually, like I said, that's because how did they do that and we didn't do it? How'd they come up with that?
Yeah, that's what
you know what I'm saying. Yeah, so there's some jealousy that usually comes at the top. The masses of people just want to be right and exact.
Right.
They want to live and prosper. That's what the masses of people want to do. Then you got these cats at the top that they just want to run every goddamn thing. They think they're born to tell everybody what to do and control the ideology and all that stuff like that. So that's what you're dealing with.
Right.
All right. So that goes back to your pseudo-cracy. You got this whole movement, quote unquote conscious movement, is run by a bunch of pseudos. Pseudo-Moor, pseudo-Arab, pseudo-Muslim, pseudo-Pan-Africanists. You know what I'm saying? They're a bunch of damn pseudos. How you know they're pseudo? Because they don't produce nothing of tangible evidence to what they do.
Right.
But rhetoric. All they produce is rhetoric.
Right.
All they produce is rhetoric. And talking is cheap. Talking ain't going to get it done.
See, now that is so fundamental, because that's one of the things I've only been introduced to this whole just, you know, pondering our existence as a unique people since I met you. I knew there was always something wrong, but that's one of the things I notice is when I run into people who identify as pro-black, I don't just look at what they introduce themselves as. I look at the whole package because I know if you are genuinely pro-black, that is a profound action. Everything in your life is going to be pivoted on increasing our life and more abundantly. So we protect our individual selves, our families, our communities, everything. And thereby you're not just going to, because they'll pivot on one little thing over here, and then they got, 10 empty boxes of Oreo cookies, or they gone and they got all jabba-dooed up.
Yeah.
Or they, all of this evolution and, just certain things where they'll like
monkeys,
and they'll just lose it. And I'm like, do you hear what you're saying? What you're saying winds up helping our enemy and not actually being productive to us.
That's because we fall for rhetoric. Simple people you speak to, they fall for the fancy words. It's rhetoric. Rhetoric. You fall for the rhetoric. Like anybody that's from the hood should know, man. If you grew up in the hood back in the day, talk doesn't mean nothing. Cats talk all the time. That don't mean they're gonna do nothing. You know what I'm saying? But for some reason in this quote unquote conscious movement, talking is all it's about. Talk.
Right.
I blame Malcolm for that. All that goddamn talk.
He was amazing.
Malcolm, talk.
When I was a little girl, oh my goodness, he mystified
and they gave him credit
me.
for everything the Honorable Elijah Muhammad did.
Right.
All the ideology, all the pushing all these programs, they gave Malcolm credit for that.
That's true. It was almost
like they when Malcolm left, did all those programs disappear? No. When Malcolm left, did Malcolm's program disappear? Yes. There was no more talk of the organization African American Unity or the Muslim Mosque Incorporated. All that stuff died with Malcolm.
Right.
All right. See, so that just shows you that he was designed to help somebody.
He helped me. That's for sure.
I'm just saying, as far as structure organizationally, he was designed to help somebody else build something.
Oh, I gotcha.
He was designed to help somebody else build something because he in of himself wasn't enough to build a structure. And he was out of the country at the time, so there wasn't no way he couldn't even build no structure.
Right.
He too busy running around trying to get money.
Right. And unfortunately,
and talking and running his mouth. You know what I'm saying? No. You got to step back and start doing some concrete maneuvers here.
That's part of that. I'm not trying to call him pseudo, but that's part of that where you're just thinking on the surface, you're thinking of the immediacy and not of the actual particulars of nation building, of how it's not something that happens overnight, obviously.
Nope.
And it's not about the camera. It's not about the talking. It's about the doing.
Absolutely. And setting up something that's going to outlive you.
Right.
Putting together a structure of instruction. I mean, how many books did Malcolm write? 0.
Oh, I never thought about that.
Book of instruction that Malcolm give you about the liberation theology. 0.
Right. Wow.
All right. How many books on black nationalism did Malcolm give you? 0.
Right.
He left you a couple of tapes. You got a few tapes.
Oh, powerful tapes. Yes.
That's from 1964.
Right.
He didn't know nothing about the Boule, though. He talked about the Big Six. He didn't realize what the Boule was. He talked about the Big Six, but he didn't understand the Boule yet.
Right.
He would have got that. You know what I'm saying?
And Baba Steve Coakley. There are, for me, personally, 2 warriors who are more because they come after Malcolm. First off, there's the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, but then there's Baba Steve Coakley, and there's Dr. Africa.
Okay, yeah, today's his birthday.
Oh, I didn't even know that.
Dr. Africa's birthday today.
Happy birthday to Dr.
Shout out
Africa.
to the elder.
Shout out. Oh, I miss him.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's the whole thing where I'm like, did we really see those 2 giants go and it's crickets now, where
Yeah,
it's
you forgot every damn thing.
yeah, it's like they didn't even exist. And that's one of the things they will do to us that we have to stop allowing to happen,
Yes.
which is our greats are here and we kind of hear them when they're here a little bit, but then they're gone, and it's almost as if what happened to them?
Yeah, well, see, that's why we have our class on coming up on Sunday. The Melanin Chronicles. That's why we have the Melanin Chronicles. Matter of fact, pull that up. The Melanin Chronicles.
Okay, I'll do that.
That's why we have the Melanin Chronicles, because we're going to deal with these concepts like Bob and Steve talked about, Dr. Africa talked about, and many of our other esteemed scholars talked about. All right, but we're not talking about it in a vacuum. I don't talk about health from a vacuum, because health by itself is useless. All right, you're gonna be a healthy slave. I mean, you just work harder for the enemy. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
No, health has to be worked around our ideology, a culture, a being, a thing to do. You know what I'm saying? A structure. All right.
I thought I had registered. Okay. Well, you could RSVP right here.
Yeah. Let's go to 25,000yearcycle.net and sign up. We can Sunday at 11 a.m. We're going to have our class. Time and location, 11 a.m. Sunday morning Zoom meeting. They'll send you the link on Sunday morning. And you can join in.
And
all right.
Whoa.
Because that's what we're going to be doing. We're going to be dropping some science, because the melanin is the key. You're talking about black. We're really talking about carbon. We're talking about black. We're talking about the melanin. We're talking about the carbon peptides. All right. The melanotropic peptides, which a major part of them is carbon, which is black, which is the most covalent element in the universe.
Right.
All right. That means that that melanin can bond with damn near anything. I mean, that carbon can bond with damn near anything.
Right.
All right. It stabilizes things. Melanin civilizes you. That's how deep melanin is. Melanin actually civilizes you.
It's apparent.
But if you don't
do.
feed it, you're not going to be civilized. That's why we have the Melanin Chronicles, because you're not going to be civilized if you have melanin and you're not living right.
That makes a beautiful, just a sane segue with let's see now. There it is. Is that no? That's not what I want.
Yeah, so you have to have a diet that feeds your melanin, your advantages.
Right.
All right. If you don't take advantage of your advantages, then what are you? What's the point of having them? All right. So you take advantage of your advantages by having a diet and an ideology that feeds and nourishes your melanin, which is going to feed and nourish your body and protect it from sickness and disease. It'll also help you think better. See? Because you're not thinking right. Well, if you're sick all the time, you're not thinking right.
See, now this was because the pseudo-cracy, that means fake.
Yes.
And I didn't want this to be.
And the European got a fake melanin. It's an EU melanin. That's right.
Oh, yeah, that's true. That's very true.
And right now you got a diet that's fake.
Yes.
Your diet is fake. But your medicine system is fake.
One of the things you said to me earlier this morning when we were discussing this was that there are people out there who are literally terrified or disturbed, or, because it's impossible not to see in the headlines how these people are peddling all kinds of lunacy.
Absolutely.
And you've got people on board for it who you would think, like all the celebrities out there.
Like I tell people, to that point, the greatest problem we have in our communities is not poverty. It's despair. Despair is a bigger problem than poverty. Despair means I have no hope of getting out from my foot, the white boy foot up over me. I'm going to be a permanent underclass. I'm going to be permanently fight the power and have no power.
Right.
That's despair.
Right.
And your children want no part of the despair. That's why they reject your quote unquote black power. Because they feel like, yo, what do you fight? What are you going to do? You know what I'm saying? Ain't nothing coming to that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because you're using it wrong. You're using it wrong. They've been taught you to use it wrong because the people that led you have been taught by the enemy.
Right.
So you're trying to use their methodology to get you out of a situation, and it's never gonna work.
see, and that's another portion because the materialism.
Mhm.
We've been watching a show just filled with pink folks, but I'm not mad at them for being pink. But called Mountain Men,
Mhm.
and I just it's such a simple little show, and a lot of it can be pretty dull. But at the same time, it's these people who literally they're trying to, despite editing, to live an independent life, and they live in shacks and just stuff that would be identified in the modern society as ne'er do
Humble.
well, humble.
Humble.
No, they don't identify it as humble anymore. Because I've had people
Poor.
try to insult me
Uh-huh.
by saying, "Oh, well, the radical sister, she doesn't have a pot to piss in." But
you got a toilet bowl for that.
Yeah, I know we all have toilet bowls, but still,
piss in no pie. What are you talking about?
It's that usual cattiness where like if you talk against anybody who has money, you're just a hater. Rather than no, I'm disagreeing with their doctrine. I'm disagreeing with their materialism. Because here, let me finish this, which is that I'm an urban homesteader. I have so much satisfaction in like I make my own laundry detergent. So every time if I happen to go out to the supermarket and I see these detergents, it's getting increasingly more pricey.
Everything is overpriced.
I'm so liberated.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, no, my stuff just costs pennies on the gallon almost.
Yeah, exactly.
So there's so many ways where, and you get the satisfaction from working, like making my soap and sending it out. It's such a pleasure. And I even said that to you a couple days ago after I had finished the last, batch of soap for the inventory. I said, oh my goodness, I feel so fantastic. Wealth and all the rest of it to me is what do you do with it? What are you doing with your wealth? And we've got a whole bunch of rich slaves in the Black intelligentsia, in the, entertainment industry, in the music industry, who are producing not a damn thing. So to me, you are poorer than I am.
That's because the problem with their wealth is dependent on the European. They use their money, they invest in Europeans. That's how they make their money. They're not taking their wealth and building nothing independent. All right. So all that money, they're putting it right back where it came from.
Right.
So yeah, you're a slave. You're a slave to that culture and society, because if that goes sideways, then you go sideways. All right. Because you've not invested in the infrastructure of your own, a community of your own, a plebiscite of your own, a nation of your own. Right. See?
You don't even.
That's right. So all your money, all your wealth is made by reinvesting in the people that's put you in a bad condition. So how are you gonna get out of that condition?
Right.
If all your wealth is designed by that, all your wealth is depending on this. You're making money investing in vineyards for wine, selling wine. You're making money. Look at the stuff they're investing in. The black rich folk, they're investing in stock and
sneakers,
white corporations, and they're investing in stuff like that. All right. Some are doing right and buying land and things like that. That's usually the ones from the hood. You know what I'm saying? They're gonna buy some land. Like, I need some land. We're gonna do something. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
The quote unquote smart ones, smart money, you just gonna put it in Wall Street, stupid shit like that.
Crypto. I remember when you blew, for me at least, the whole gasket off of understanding crypto, and you said it, and you did that live with me years back, and you said it's a Ponzi scheme. It's a setup.
Yeah.
And and you say if you could get in and get out, okay, maybe.
Yeah, exactly.
But now crypto is
it dive because it's not. Come on, it's work. It's not real money. Real money's not real, but this is even less real than real money.
Right.
This is less real than what you get from the Federal Reserve, so it's very volatile.
Right.
You can't play with that, man. You can't invest in that like that. This is not land. It's not a house.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
It's not dirt.
That market,
you can grow food.
You paid $5 for it. It's worth $10. Then it's worth $2. I'm saying you can't You can't build an economy like that. It's
Right.
too unstable.
And the whole depression thing,
Mhm.
I know that it's because we're seeing their society, and you could even say I'm a separate entity from their society,
Mhm.
but just the volatility of it, the uncertainty of it, and not knowing, what do I do?
Mm.
Where do I go? How do I genuinely, not just in words, but genuinely survive all the full of crapness that you have no choice?
First of all, you can't believe it.
Mm.
When you believe in them, you're screwed already. You believe in them. They don't believe in themselves. So you up there believing and taking this stuff in like they is sincere about something.
Right.
You done jacked yourself already. All right, because they're phony. They're pseudo.
Right.
They are pseudo. Their whole culture is pseudo.
Mm.
It's not based on science, technology, ethics, morality. It's based on cave life. All right?
Wow.
It's based on being the cavey. That's what it's based on.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And whenever something go wrong, they're gonna revert back to cavey on your ass. That's what's going on.
Right.
When things go bad, they revert back to cavey. Guaranteed.
Right.
All right? Wolfpack mentality, chase you down, beat you in the street. You know what I'm saying? Fearful, scared, superstitious. You just been through 2 years of the cavey, bro. You've been in the cave for over 2 years already.
Yes.
When they get to hit the fan, they're gonna revert back to the cave on you. Because that's all that is their, what's that called? Their base. Their
epigenetic.
Not just epigenetic. Definitely the epigenetics, but it's their base character, I would say.
Their nature, or
their nature. It's not nature. It's something. I forgot the term I was going to use.
Oh, okay.
I got
Anyway, but
that's who they are,
right?
And they're going to revert the type.
And
on your ass, guaranteed.
One of the things that also buoys me is that when ancient Rome collapsed, the residents around actually were freer.
Of course, because they didn't have to pay the taxes no more. They weren't being taxed to death.
Right.
As much as we were. Well, Rome was falling apart a long time.
Yeah. But I think of how once a society is done and another one is rising,
and also
there's nothing that stops that.
And you gotta look about the fall of Rome. It wasn't like there was no other powers there at that time. There were other civilizations. Right. Africa was thriving. You know what I'm saying? Egypt started thriving. All these other places were thriving.
Right.
Europe was in bad shape. All right. Rome had to fall because they had their purpose was over. Whatever purpose they had been long lost. All right. So other civilizations were thriving at that point. Because thank God Rome didn't have the power. They got smaller and smaller. They didn't have the power to tax you from long reaches anymore. Remember? They couldn't travel far to tax you. So everything had to be local. They started going localer and localer and localer. So their fall was more of a local event at that point.
Right,
you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Because the other regional powers had gotten their autonomy back.
Right.
All right?
Right.
So that's what happened. So it ain't like Rome fell with nobody else around. That's nonsense. Somebody was around before Rome, during Rome, after Rome. You know what I'm saying? There's always somebody around.
That's true.
Yeah.
And one of the things is the original peoples, they never went through these great, disease outbreaks and financial collapses. You could have a drought. You could have floods. You could have, that would cause great famine. But the response is very different because our nature is different. So seeing that inner rootedness that we each have, which has seen us through horrors that other people would just have never survived. It's not only on an individual basis, but it's in our collective connection, which you've gone over with the melanin. And I don't want to, divulge what you're going to be talking about, but at the same time, but at the same time, it's just, there's a dynamic going on, which is in our favor, which is Allah already just told us about all these things that were going
Mhm.
to happen. And
Yeah.
so I look and I'm like with your 25,000 year cycle,
Mhm.
that there's more to this than just what we see and what we taste and what we hear.
Yes.
There is a program, there's a limit to evil.
Mm.
And you just have to have that faith, but don't just stop at the faith. You got to put it to work.
I go even further than that. There's no evil. There is no evil. You're either submitting to natural law or you are an aberration. Bent for a destruction. That's what that means.
Right. Because they do have a caricature
Yeah,
about
so if you're
evil.
exactly, you know, you
Right.
either submit to natural law or you are bound for destruction out here. Literally. That's why they say the European has been given the time to exist, because he can't exist within natural law. Because it will destroy him. That's why you can't stand in the sun for so long. Things like that show you that you are against natural law. So we call that, quote unquote, evil.
Right.
All right? Because we know people that are born within the nature or genetic structure of natural law, pre-cataclysm, you know what I'm saying, planet. We can't do things that are out of order too.
Yes. Oh,
all
definitely.
Right? And we will suffer the consequences too.
Yes.
Right? Because your mother might forgive, but God really does not forgive.
Right.
Because God is nature, and nature don't forgive. Nature don't forgive. You're going to have to pay a price for whatever you do outside of nature, wrong against nature. You're going to have to pay a price for that.
Right.
It's going to be a penalty, because that's how the universe works. You know what I'm saying? If you go the wrong way, if your flow is wrong, then you're upsetting other things around you.
Right.
In that area, and with your magnetic field, you're upsetting other magnetic fields in the process. Right. You're giving out wrong instructions all around you by your wrongdoing. That's why they put the dysfunctional child in the middle of the classroom, because they're going to make everybody codependent. Everybody's going to get dysfunctional, and that's how you control the class, and that's how you control the learners. See, don't get it twisted. The white boy doesn't know, doesn't practice the survey. He know how to disrupt your classroom, make everybody dysfunctional. Just put one in, it's going to spread like a virus.
Right, and it does.
Because that's really a magnetic field. That's energy. This wavelengths are being put out. And we are designed to communicate with each other, whether you know it or not. You're communicating with each other as you walk across the street. Even as you trying to ignore that dude that you don't like, you are communicating with him. Right. Or that woman, you try to avoid your neighbor who's annoying, you're still communicating with them. Right. Because that's natural law. We are all putting out these magnetic fields. All right. And we are putting out disorder, or we can generate order. Some of us, they generate, you see them come around, they just generate order. Oh, that brother's on point. Like,
right.
Sister,
and
leave
it's
her alone.
Automatic respect.
Leave her alone. Just leave her.
Right.
Just leave that sister alone.
Right.
Don't holler at her. Yeah. You know what I mean? This thing's going on. And how you know you off is that you know what's right to do, and you're doing everything wrong, and you're doing stuff that you know that's outside of your nature. Guess what? You're going to attract those things outside of your nature. Quiet is kept. And they're going to have a deleterious effect on you. Or they'll show you that you are doing something deleterious, because you'll attract certain energies.
Right. That's why when you see a lot of the folks out here, and get the chat room again.
Yeah.
When you see a lot of folks out here who practice that disorder, you just see chaos in the wake of wherever they go throughout the years. And folks sort of act like, oh, well, it's just because life stinks, rather than their philosophy.
Yes, your philosophy.
Your
That's right.
philosophy.
It's your thoughts. It's your thoughts.
Right.
Stink.
Right.
That's what stinks, your thoughts.
Right.
You have to clean up your thoughts. Your perspective, actually. You have to clean up your perspective. Your perspective is skewed, so you see things skewed. Or you can have a positive perspective, you can have a negative perspective, right? You can see negative in everybody, you can see positive in everybody. I mean, there's all things you can do, but you have to take control of that. And not let your thoughts run away from you. All right? But see, they run away from you when you're not on your proper diet. When you're not properly, you're not getting the proper nutrition, your thoughts will run ragged on you.
Impulse.
All your insecurities will be enhanced. Everything will be enhanced when you're not nutritionally stable and you're not feeding your melanin. especially on the anti. If you black with an anti-melanin diet, you screwed. You're gonna be messed up. You're gonna be super emotional, men, sensitive, arguing with every damn body, anger all over the place. You know what I'm saying? Because you are out of equilibrium. You are unstable. All right. That's what's going on. That's why if you go to the website, you go to our blog, we have the food list. You have to use the food list at minimum. Blog. Yeah. You gotta use the food list on the blog. If you want to eat meat, I got that there for you. We got understanding about organic foods. You got the foods you shouldn't eat and the foods you should eat. We got the list for everything. Go there, read that. That'll give you some guidance on how you should operate in your kitchen. All right. Just eliminating the negative stuff will take away a lot of the negative energy that you are generating. Taking the negative foods out, because those are most usually nitrogen based, and the nitrogen is just going to have you stupid.
See, now there's a very critical point, which is that white people in their medical industry, they do not differentiate. This whole idea where every human race is exactly the same.
And they do. But they don't care about you enough to tell you.
Yeah. Well, I'm just talking about what we'll encounter when we go to them. They do not factor in the differences in our physiologies, so that foods that don't impact them are horrible for us.
But I'm going to tell you a secret. This diet will help them too.
Well, it would, but I'm just saying in terms of, like they don't say, well, you really should never eat nitrogen-based foods.
Exactly. They can't deal with selenium, for example. They can selenium overload. Because, they got sulfur in their melanin, whereas you need selenium. Because the center of your melanin is going to be selenium. Theirs has sulfur. So they can get selenium overload. Things like that. They can do, yes. That you can't. You probably ain't got enough selenium. That's why you acting crazy.
Right.
You ain't got I know you ain't got enough vitamin D3 in you, because I know you're acting crazy. You don't have enough vitamin D3.
Right.
All right. That means that your immune system is compromised. That means your bone structure is compromised. That means you're probably leaching calcium and magnesium that you need
to keep that proper pH balance.
To keep your brain working right.
Right.
It's being leached away because you're not eating right. And you're not getting enough sunlight. All right. That's why I made the D3. If you go to the Pine Power, go to the apothecary.
Oh, wait.
Just scroll up.
Okay. Well, I gotta do that. And wait, all posts?
Scroll all the way up.
Oh, sorry about that. That's so silly.
Apothecary.
Okay, apothecary. There we go.
Yeah. That's why I made the Pine Power right below that. The Pine Power. That is going to give you, that's going to help you with hormone balance. That'll help you with virility. That'll help you with your D3. That'll help you with calcium, magnesium absorption. That'll help your DNA methylation. In other words, it'll help your DNA be written properly. Literally, because each cell has to be written out as a blueprint called DNA, but it has to be translated or transcribed for it to be developed into a cell. You know what I'm saying? So the DNA are the instructions. But then you have these proteins which build the cell. The problem is that when you don't have the proper sunshine, your proteins are not working properly. They don't write the cells properly, literally. So the instruction there, they can't read them right. They get dyslexia. You know what I'm saying? So they're building your cells wrong. So you're being, on a cellular level, you are not right and exact. There's a bunch of errors being written in your cells themselves. And we call that aging. All right? Or premature aging.
Right.
All right? If you go back, let's go to the apothecary,
Okay.
That's why I have this. I have the womb. You ain't got to hit on every one, but
okay.
We got the soap, of course. We got the womb. That's for sisters that are dealing with PMS, hormonal imbalance, fibroid. That's why I got the womb right there. If you're dealing with a whole lot of cravings and stuff like that, and you want to stop your cravings, I got the Hypercom Morrisons. You take that, you take a, it's at the top.
Oh, okay. I was like, what?
That little flower right there.
Okay.
You take that. Don't click on it. Just show it.
No, I'm not.
You take that. You just put it under your tongue. That'll stop your cravings dead in its tracks. So you can stop eating all the damn time.
Right.
Until you get a hold of this thing, because you got to stop them cravings. That you got to stop that grilling from overcoming you. We got the blackwood for the male potency. All right. We got the pine power, of course. I got the liver max because you can't do nothing without your liver working right. Nothing works right if your liver don't work right. Nothing works right if you are constipated. Your gut's not cleaned out. Nothing works right. That's why I got the GI tract to clean your GI tract. All right. The GI sweeper. All right.
Oh, there it is.
Gastrointestinal regeneration, because you can't heal up until you clean out your guts. Because that's where the nutrition comes in at. So I can give you anything you want, but if your guts ain't clean, it ain't gonna work.
Right. It's
because you can't absorb it.
Yeah.
Not the way you need to absorb it. And the food you're eating is just going to be turning into fat because you're not getting nutrients from it. And if it's processed, it's going to turn to white adipose to fat anyway. So you're screwed there. All right. I got the blood cleansers. You can clean your blood supply. Your cardiovascular system needs to be cleaned out because you get plaque in your veins. You call it high blood pressure. All right. But you eat. This is one system, family.
Right.
This is one system. All right. So each system, when one system is not working right, it makes the other parts work harder and wear out faster. That's how this works.
See, and I want to just, add that for me, that's the difference between the pseudo and just taking full comprehensive.
Oh, yeah, we got some mad pseudo healers, pseudo health practice. They create straight pseudo.
Yes. Right? Oh my God, are they? And I'll say no names, but
straight pseudo.
You researched different products that they had.
Just cow water.
Cow water. It was just salt.
Like, give me a break, man.
And then
yeah. So in other words, anatomy and physiology don't matter, bro. So you tell me anatomy and physiology, just take this.
Cow stuff.
It don't work like this. No, whether it's cow stuff or you need pills to do, it don't work like that. Just because you can take a pill don't mean that you will be able to get the benefit from taking it.
And I think that's what one of the things that drove you to just do, because I got this idea for this share from going to your Instagram account.
Okay.
And you had that little piece you were doing saying, we are surrounded by pseudo.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Cats telling you the black don't exist. All type of dumb shit cats say. You ain't black. You ain't black. Well, bro, you don't know what black it is, number one. You following white. You listen to white people who hate black, and so they make you hate black. That's what it comes down to. Because they hated black. They were scared of everything black. They're scared of the darkness, scared of living in dark caves. They were scared of everything black. Black scared the shit out of them. All right? So you up there reparenting their ideology and you putting a black face on it, or quote unquote a Moor face on it. You know what I'm saying? You sound silly.
It does sound
when Moor
silly.
Is why we never called ourselves Moor in the first place. They called you Moor. You didn't call yourself Moor.
Oh, I didn't know that.
They called you Moor. We didn't really necessarily call ourselves Moor. We had tribal names. We had cities. We had we don't call ourselves that. All right, that's the description they put on a blanket description they put on Blackamoor.
Right.
That's a blanket description they put towards the Muslims who were in charge of Europe up until 1492. Basically, Moors were the center of civilization in Europe until 1492 when they were expelled, literally. All right. That was they stole everything from the Moors.
Yes.
But we said, like we said, we go old school. We say more M-U-U-R. More.
I don't get the reference.
It's a different way of saying. We just say when I'm talking about Moors, I'm talking about M-U-U-R. Or your M-O-O-Rs, you can go about your business. But the original Moors, the M-U-U-Rs, we know we love black. We know what the black is. We know about the black melanin gas that the whole universe is suspended in. All right? All right? We know that that we were created from a black illuminating substance. We know that. The Moors know that. The M-U-U-Rs, the M-O-O-Rs, I don't know what you're doing. Right? You're reading Black's Law Dictionary and you're thinking that ain't got nothing.
That's the last
That ain't got nothing.
word.
That's just white folks rituals and dogma. White folks do not practice law. They practice rituals and dogma and superstition. They call it law, but it's not law. We practice law. Law is written in the stars. Law is in the universe.
Right.
Law is proven through nature.
Right.
All right. Bunch of books with a bunch of words and rituals. White folks rituals. Put your left hand here and put your right hand there and turn around 3 times. That's just ritual and superstition that they follow in them books, and they call it law. See, pseudo-cracy.
Right.
They got you thinking these rituals is laws.
And then we get shocked and surprised when we go into their court system.
And they just make it do whatever the hell they want. Whatever outcome they want to have, they just switch it that way. Because there ain't never been no law there. It's rituals to protect the society, their society. Right. That's designed to do, protect their hegemony. That's all it's designed to do. You know what I'm saying? Why do you go and you smile and shake hands? Why do white folks greet each other, smile and shake hands?
Well, I think it's so that they could prove I don't have any weapons
exactly.
in my hand.
I don't have any weapons in my hand. Exactly. That's why they do that.
Right. Because that's what
because they were constantly at war with each other.
Right. Can you imagine a practice that is so just normalized?
Yeah. Why do they wear neckties?
Because they literally had to worry about some guy just pulling a blade out and stabbing.
Why do they wear neckties? Why do they wear ties? That was part of protecting your neck. That's why they wrap their necks.
Oh, wow.
Right? Come on, man. That's what it was for. That's protection. You just now you just wear the tip. Now it's civilization. You wear a necktie. Wow. You know what I'm saying? Come on, bro.
That's intense.
Pseudo. We following pseudo people. This make you ultra pseudo. You know what I'm saying? Everything in society is pseudo. They say they love you. Take this untested poison. We love you for your own safety. Pseudo.
Right. Oh my God. And they make it make sense.
Yeah, some of these pseudos out here. You know what I'm saying? Pseudo. We need a school.
Right.
Pseudo. Tons of black schools all over here you can send money to.
Right.
They act like we ain't never had no schools. We had schools for years. All right. Develop a curriculum for the schools if you want to do something. Develop a curriculum and community and make a coalition between all these black private schools and have a universal curriculum for our growth and development. That's what you do. You're going to take 12 niggas over to some island with you 15, 20 children by yourself, then you're going to build something like that?
I know.
Come on, man. That's silly
talk. At the same time, in the meantime, BLM was up in the public schools.
Exactly.
Teaching
getting their ideology
out.
Exactly. See, because you think you petty and you small and you're only thinking about your own aggrandizement.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah.
Because the real ball of them are like, yo, how many black schools are out there? What kind of curriculum do they have? They need a curriculum.
Right.
Because I can't be every damn way. Why teach 20 young men when I can teach 5,000 at the same time? Duh.
Right. And if you're all about that.
If you can organize, exactly.
That they don't have.
Organize.
Right,
it's called organization.
Right.
All right. Or even if they don't get it, make it available to them. Give it to them. Or sell it to them, or come and teach that to them so they can learn. That's how you think this 1619, this what's this thing, this black history curriculum they've been fighting.
Oh, yes, right. The critical race theory.
How you think that's got around? Somebody's going around offering it to the schools.
Right.
Whether it's right or wrong. They have put together a machine to put it out there and make it available to any school system. So that way they ain't got to be messing around with 15, 20 people. They can hit 500,000 at one time.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You got to stop thinking small. We think it too small.
That's very true.
Right?
That's
small
true.
thinking. That's 19.
Yeah.
You still thinking like it's 1927 or something like that.
And it's
been played.
Not. It's not. That's the whole thing.
Been played.
Yeah.
It's been played, bro.
Yeah.
You an educator. Put down the education. Put it down.
Yeah.
And make it available for people to take. That's all.
Let me.
I'm sorry.
No. Don't be sorry. Are you kidding me? So let me greet you, family, here, and I thank you for coming on in. So again, beautiful Sister Daphne Quinn.
Peace.
Tim Calasibit. And Ali, brother Ali Hammett, it's so good to see you. And brother Igbo ethno nationalist. Yes, thank you so much for joining us, and all your some of your Igbo brothers have been coming on by, and I really appreciate that.
Mm-hmm.
And brother General Mosquito and Warrior Status, good to see you, family. Really good to
Peace,
see
family. Yeah, but that's what we're talking about. So, but see, this is the common mind. This is the things that we deal with on a regular basis here, and that's what 25,000 year cycles designed to promote, literally.
you.
All right. So you need to, if you haven't signed up, go to the website 25,000yearcycle.net. RSVP for the class. Sign up for the class. It's a Zoom meeting. We'll send you the link, and you can join the class. It's a free class. But trust me, you ain't gonna think the same way after this class.
Right.
And what we lack is expansion of our thought process. We need to expand our thinking beyond what we've been given, because it's not enough. How do we know it's not enough? Look at the conditions we're in. All right. Look at the stuff we go for. All right.
Well, that's pretty. I want
Yeah.
to go to
What?
the class itself.
Yeah. Yeah. Melanin Chronicles. Yeah. Join up, family. Take the class. RSVP. All right. We're gonna talk about health, healing from a holistic standpoint, not like they say holistic. I'm talking about holistic, the whole thing. It's gonna be. I think we're probably gonna deal mostly with the mind aspect of it this week to kind of like get that stuff in line, so we can understand how it controls everything else.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So we're gonna deal more with the mind, mentally, physically, spiritually, nutritionally. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Things like that.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's going to be the focus this Sunday.
And I do also want to just emphasize how approachable survivalist practices are in terms of, I'm thinking I should probably write a blog for your website too, which would involve, all the book lists that I have about radiation, but also about growing things. Because you think that if you don't have the land already, you can't grow anything. And that's not true. You could learn the dynamics of agriculture simply in a flower pot, and don't have just one but have several, where you will learn the differences required for various species of vegetation. And that is, I count that as gold that I took literally, I don't know, maybe 3-4 solid years of focusing on how do I grow stuff. And I'm somebody who I killed every plant I ever got. And that is no longer the case. So you can also grow a green thumb, because these are the basics of surviving these people and their lies and their vehement wish that you feel like if they're not in charge, all life is over. And that is so not at all the case. Freedom is the best technology that any of us can ever master, where then you are worth defending.
That's right. No doubt.
Right.
Any questions before I go?
Oh, yeah. If anyone has any questions, just, let us know. I do want to thank everybody who has bought my soap. And it's also on 25,000 year cycle. And the soap it's extraordinary. We're not just here for the soap or for my King's extraordinary products, but the goal is to be builders for our people, because the more successful we are, we're not like just, we're just doing business to be doing business. We tell the truth all along the way, and we guide and we give you the dynamics, the details that others are just saying whatever is on the headlines in order to achieve that. Whereas, no, we're actually talking about stuff that impacts your life daily.
True.
So I thank everybody who's bought the soap because you assist. My goal is to get our food tested for radiation. That is absolutely vital, vital, because there's so many methods that these people have in this war upon us. And one of the things is that this, radiation and stuff of that sort, it's way too complicated for your little black mind to understand. And no, it's not at all. Now, I'm not saying everybody is going to go out there and become, proficient in understanding the differences between wave and particle radiation and all the rest of that sort of stuff. But within our people, we have even more than me. I know there's plenty of people could understand radiation, but I understand I seem to have been tasked with putting the subject out there, screaming loud enough so that we take it seriously. So that not just me, but all of those who have the capacity to understand this stuff will suddenly say, oh, okay, well, it's good to talk about this now. One of the things that's going to help us do that is if our food is tested. And because then I can sit back and say, yes, this has got this type of radiation from this type of event. It's got this much, and I can be exact and precise. Trust me, the whole friggin' world will pay attention to that because that will be irrefutable. It will be following every single marker that they require in order to say, okay, maybe we'll listen to you. So purchasing our goods is the road towards that level of protecting our nation, because they're coming for us specifically because we, in our nature, refuse to cooperate with, I call it evil, and my king called it I forgot what he called it, but where you're denatured. You're going against.
You're antimatter.
You're
antimatter in the matter world.
There you go. Exactly. You're anti-matter. Everything that's right and needs to be perpetuated.
Painful.
Exactly. So that's all I'm saying is it's not meant to be just like I hate watching their commercials because I know all these companies aren't doing freaking dookie squat for not only black us, but for the whole world, for their own white people. They're doing not a damn thing because none of them are talking about what needs to be said. Right? So forgive me. I'm not mad at anybody. I'm mad at them. Okay? So there you go. All right. I've said all I need to say.
No questions?
Oh, let me check. That's right. Let's see if anybody has any questions. No questions.
That's peace. Well, come on. If you have a question, you think of a question, sign in on Sunday.
I don't think folks can hear you.
If you got any questions, just come to class on Sunday.
That's true. If you have a question, you can come to the class on Sunday. And questions. Definitely, it's very interactive. All right.
Yeah, they don't need to be shy. We're trying to bust these atoms open.
Yes. So peace and blessings, family. I love you.
Peace.